neglects to stay low, and Liston gets to him against the rope with left and right. Ties him up, won't let him get away. Liston with a left, short right to the body, a left hook, and Patterson is down.
Hi, thank you for taking the time out of your day to visit this channel in what will be my first breakdown of a boxing fight on YouTube. Whereas the fight is taking place this Saturday, October the 17th, and at the point of me making this video, the press conference is over, the weigh-in is now over, and I've been trying to just let this breakdown kind of marinate in my head for a while, and I want to tackle this on from perhaps how it may be politically driven and the tangibles inside the ring, etc., all the little bits of details. And this is a good fight. When we are having a fight in boxing in which we cannot immediately surmise the outcome in which it will transpire, that's generally the makings of a good fight. That's what constitutes one. If you don't know for sure 100% of the way who's going to win this fight, that means in a sense of the way it's going to be a good fight, where it should be, because that means it'll be competitive. All too often, if we know who's going to win, it's a landslide effect. It's a showcase. It's something which is based around promoting one fighter and increasing his platform. In this instance though, you've got young lion per se versus old lion, and Vasyl Lomachenko has, for once in his life, had a very extensive layoff for well over a year, and granted to Teofimo as well, but Lomachenko's been busy since he's been about 4 years old, approximately, to 7 and onward, and he's never taken a break. That's not within Anatoly's training regimen, to just dish out a bunch of breaks to his son. He keeps him constantly ambling, locomoting, running, whatever terminology for traversing an area you want to use. He is always keeping Lomachenko geared up to go, and his senses alert, and testing him in different ways. Whereas Teofimo Lopez kind of came into it just a little bit later than Lomachenko, and he's shown great chemistry with his father, in the sense that he's been able to have someone to back him all the way, who's shown belief in him. But let's not get this mistaken, it's not the same type of relationship as far as trainer and son. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't by any measure grade Teofimo Lopez's father as some sort of out-of-this-world trainer. When you've seen anything that Anatoly has worked on, even with Vasyl or Usyk briefly, the Ukrainian cast, he's phenomenal with them. He's a guy who likes to remain outside the cameras. But anyway, straight from the trainers, this game is going to have a mental landscape on which they both have to play to their highest wits. Lopez, to me, my question coming into this fight was Teofimo Lopez going to have the mental fortitude to withstand Lomachenko the whole time if he does not land that significant punch that we know he has? He's got great power, both hands. That's what makes this exciting. He's got a puncher's chance, but we can't help but wonder if Lomachenko is going to neutralize that with pure boxing craft. And not that Teofimo Lopez is incapable of producing, masterful art form in boxing. He's just been at it less longer than Lomachenko has. He's shown it less. They both do have 15 pro fights, so 30 between them. But there's something about the subtleties that Lomachenko displays as opposed to Teofimo Lopez, which leads me to believe he's got a higher understanding on maneuvering, punch placement, etc. And if we're looking just outside the physical properties of this and back to the mental aspect, Teofimo Lopez he's been having family-oriented issues. And although Lomachenko doesn't have much of his information publicized as much as Lopez's is, because Lopez has been the mouthpiece for this fight, he's done a great job promoting it, and salute to him for that, because that takes a lot of hard work and commitment. Or he might just have a natural mouthpiece to him. But he's been having issues. And if you reference the Nakatani fight that Lopez had, which he struggled in, against a guy who was admittedly much taller than him, but he wasn't a big puncher. It wasn't a guy he shouldn't have been able to deal with, but his mind wasn't in that fight. Mind wasn't in it. So he was bound to have more of a lackluster performance, and you can grade Lomachenko the same way when he fought Luke Campbell. He was stale on that, stagnant, wasn't moving the same. He didn't take up the usual approach. I don't even think he was attempting to circumnavigate, Campbell's position, because there is at no point when you're watching that fight where there's a whole lot of Campbell being inclined to have to turn with Lomachenko when he's being offensiveful and repositioning himself. So I'm just wondering, especially after that press conference where Lopez could barely maintain eye contact with Lomachenko. He was physically moving around more. It was a little fidgety, whereas Lomachenko, he was just posturized. Just staring intently the whole time. He was analyzing Lopez. When he was talking, when he wasn't talking. I can't help but wonder if Lopez has talked himself into a fight where he may not have all the bearings developed yet to put up with it. He's young. He's what, 23, 25? Pardon if I can't remember that off the top of my head, but he's young. I don't know if he's as cold per se and can be as perfunctory in his actions and be as machine-like as Vasyl Lomachenko can be. Lomachenko can switch himself on pretty much whenever he needs to. I'm not aware Lopez can do the same. I feel like this is a fight where Lopez has to prove a lot of things to us, and he's got a golden opportunity to do so. And if he wins this fight, it's self-explanatory that the sky is the limit based on the way Lomachenko's been built up. Lomachenko has been notably given a lot of privileges, and outside of that, this is not within Top Rank's MO. Bob, this is not a fight you normally make. There's risks here. I'm not sure, and I don't think anybody is 100% of the way aware of the aftermath that takes place between Lopez and Lomachenko should either of them lose. We can foresee a little bit what happens if they win, and based on their win, but if they lose, either of them, what happens? I don't know. And Bob, I'm not slandering this. Look, I've bought Top Rank stuff before. I've attended plenty of Top Rank fights. I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested in this fight. I have to see this fight, and I'm excited as a fan. I hope anyone else who's watching this is a fan of this as well. And I'm looking forward to a great night of fights tomorrow night. I feel embarrassed because I can't remember what's on the undercard to save my life right now, but I've just been so honed in on this one fight. There's other fights coming up that I'm going to talk about beyond this one, but as a fan and a boxer in training, this is a must-see fight. Got a masterclass technician versus a guy who's young, who's burgeoning, and he's got power. If I have to choose and take a safe bet here, I would pick Lomachenko. I want Lopez to win because he's the young guy, and this is more probably integral for his future than it is for Lomachenko's. I think Lomachenko's already solidified himself in numerous ways, and Top Rank will probably continue to system in that, but if you're looking at Vegas betting odds, they've significantly leaned towards Lomachenko, and I think they wanted to be that way. I'm just not sure that this is the fight that is normally designed by Bob. And I don't mean that it wasn't designed by Bob, but I mean it's not his per usual construct. It's not his blueprint. It's a young guy versus an old guy, but in this instance, I think he wants the older guy to win. It's, to me, in a strange way, a reverse Donaire Rigondeaux. Instead, he wants the older guy, which has been Bob's favorite son. In Lomachenko, he's shown plenty of favoritism towards him that, unfortunately, Bud Crawford has not received. I wish he would get it, but I don't think that's going to change as long as he's with Bob. Again, I'm not hating on you, Bob, but that's how it is. It's how it looks and how it's been. Anyway, that's my prediction for the fight. I'm choosing Lomachenko. I want Lopez to win, but either way, how it goes, I'm going to be excited for the outcome, and I'm sure I'll report on it to the best of my ability. And thank you to anyone who's watching this, and yeah, like and subscribe. That is entirely your choice. Anyway, peace out. Take care.
Patterson neglects to stay low, and Liston gets to him against the rope with left and right. Ties him up, won't let him get away. Liston with a left, short right to the body, a left hook, and